Mother Eartha. I tell stories. And sometimes I just talk about stuff. Today, I've been thinking to talk about something that might not make some folks happy, but I gotta talk about it anyway. See, it's about this thing that a dear friend recently spoke excitedly about a new book she was reading. Now, I didn't catch the title, but from her brief description, it sounded pretty near like many other self-help books churned out annually and sold by the truckload to folks desperately seeking motivation, meaning, and purpose to their lives. My friend promised to loan it to me when she was finished, and this book she claims is filled first page to last with nuggets of wisdom for formulating a more satisfying life. So, I've been thinking about this for several days now, and it's bothered me, and I couldn't put my finger on why. When I finally did sort it out, I was faced with the dilemma of how I'd tell my friend, if at all, what I think. Now, for all kinds of reasons, I used to avoid these kinds of potential confrontations or speaking out on something I feel strongly about. Firstly, because I hardly ever find satisfaction in making someone else uncomfortable with my personal point of view, but mostly because, to my knowledge, I have never changed anyone's mind to my way of thinking. Anyway, so, at the very least, it seems like wasted breath. But I'm older, and at this stage of my life, sometimes it smacks more of cowardice than discretion to remain silent. So, if my friend mentions the book again, I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell her this. The world is, and always has been, full of man's wisdom. No one loves inspirational quotes from sage minds better than I do. Words that lift up, thoughts and concepts that turn and propel us toward right thinking come from all kinds of cultures, all religions, all manner of intellectual sources. A good thought, for example, the golden rule, is not unlike a law of physics. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you stands universally unchallenged as sound advice for any functional civilization that is interested in its own best-case scenario. Interpretations and reworded versions of this law spring from nearly every religion in history, don't you know? Why? Well, for one thing, it works. But the concept in itself, even though Jesus Christ said it as eloquently as possible, cannot save civilization, not even if it became a written law of the land in every nation on earth. Why? Well, because it isn't enough. This and a whole library of books full of wise concepts will never be enough. There is something else needed to be recognized. Good concepts are only the beginning of what is true about what humans need to be enriched with wisdom to the point of wise decision-making and prudent behavior. It is like the thin edges where the ocean reaches to the land. The never-still waters are certainly powerful and compelling, like the tide that pulls and pushes and reshapes the shoreline incessantly. But the real power of the tidal shells springs from the deeper waters out beyond where the greater truths are hidden. That which ends up visible on the beach came from something larger, much farther out. Throughout history, with one precept layered upon another, one religion redesigned and redefined after another, mankind has quested relentlessly to devise and mastermind all manner of systems in which to save itself. Well, from this, we can conclude that mankind believes it ought to be saved from something. But from what? And more to the point, for what is the great question left wanting an answer. We can't escape death. That's programmed into life itself. So what are we working for in this search through wise concepts? Heaven on earth? Utopia? Perfect lives? If mankind believes this life on earth is all there is, then I guess seeking the best way to live it is not so bad an idea. But then one has to ask, perfect? By whose standards? But someone needs to step up and answer that one. Oh, wait, someone did. God gave us the answers to these and many more questions through His only begotten Son. Now I realize it's infinitely easier to dig out versions of truth in man's words and man's interpretations that carve out and discard the hard parts, the parts that make us uncomfortable and that hold us accountable. But God gave us every good word to live by, every good model of a perfect life. It is all there is in a book of scriptures, breathed out precisely as He intended, mysteries, contradictions, and all. Like the ocean, the truths therein are deep and wide, and we cannot see the bottom or the end. Flotsam on the surface seems disconnected and indefinable until the source hidden beneath it is revealed. There is only one way to find more truth, more than just those that wash ashore in the sea foam. You cannot find sunken treasure if you will not venture into the deep water. Greater truths, wisdom that illuminates out beyond mankind's short lifespan and narrow vision, await discovery. The caveat is, you're going to need the one and only way to get out there to the depths. We can freely choose to remain drifting on a man-made raft in the superficial waters, and we will certainly stay lifted up above the sand just beneath us. And we can even feel good about it too, because how can we miss what we have never experienced? Perhaps there is a type of comfort where no shocks or surprises or things that challenge what we wish to believe can leap out at us unexpectedly, if we can clearly see it coming beneath us and can brace ourselves. But I tell you this, with great affection, surrendering to Christ is like stepping into a boat that sails swiftly out straight into the deepest mysteries. This commitment initially does take enormous trust, but He keeps us afloat, and for our faith and devotion for seeking Him, and our wisdom directly from Him, He grants us clarion glimpses of the unfathomable. Man's good truths, or God's good truths, like choosing between a small wooden dinghy and a 5-star cruise ship. Now I ask you, why would I prefer a dinghy in the shallows when I could be on an ocean liner out on adventure in the great beyond? Well, I guess that's all for now. Till next time.